Okay, so we have a 79 Sea Ray. The trailer is in rough shape. Don't worry about the decals. I'm going to strip those off and clean up this look here on the outside. Trailer does have hydraulic thrust braking system. However, I have not run through it, bled it, filled it, but I was able to very easily stop this with my truck. It was not a big deal. You just drive it like you have a trailer on the back. Full-size spare. Now I got four new tires on this. They're actually used ones in new shape, identical size, everything. So good tread wear. I do have some extra bearings for this if these ever go out. They seem to be in good shape, but there's actually extra ones for it. Now this one is a really unique boat. I'm gonna tell you right now, it is very special. We have hydraulic bow planers on each side. I have another video showing you that the impeller pulls water. It actually does have a direct port right there if you want to tap right in there and don't want to use the muffs. Because I may have to winterize this before I get this video up and put it up for sale, I did a video showing that all did work. Now on the back of this, we also have I do have a spare propeller, and we do have a trolling plate, which you can see the holes are there that you can mount this on there. However, the gearing on having this come down, it comes down very, very fast. And the guy who had it before me welded a little plate on right there. So it comes down fast, and I just want to take the weight off it. I wasn't doing anything for fishing, but they are. So I redid all the teak. Just all I had to do was sand it down and stain it. So this is all original teak. As you can see, it's just in really beautiful sort of reddish orange color that you want. Does have for skiing, does have a ski rope, but you really want to use a cleat from the rope from there, a rope from there, bring it into a Y bracket with a float here, and do it kind of old school. This will work just fine, but using that is a little bit more stable, especially for skiers. Now this boat is custom. Okay, everything about this is in immaculate shape. The leather, real leather. Those little buttons on there are so cool. And then all over the place you have this teak that we did just get done refinishing. Cup holders, which was really surprising to me, for every seat. You got them there for these back seats, there for these. And take a look at the work and the artistry that goes into the trim. This is all leather. This is all custom. I love this here. The actual faux wood is in really good shape. Here over the console, the steering wheel even has that wood grain in it. The gauges all work. There's your bow planers, your hours. It says it has 736.5 hours on it, which is nothing. This is obviously your throttle. It's got the pull neutral. This is actually your trim for the engine. This is an older style boat, so you actually use your trim on the motor, not from the outdrive. The outdrive stays down. This does have a U.S. Coast Guard plate on it, which I haven't seen, so is good for salt water. The blower works on it. These seats, besides just being in beautiful shape, you can loosen up these guys here, and this whole thing slides forward and back, so both sides will adjust depending on how close the driver wants to sit to the wheel, which is great because I am a shorter person. I'm only about 5'6", 5'7"-ish, and so it's really great that I don't have to be too far away. Now these also unclip and lay down completely flat. Pretty much all boaters will see that, but both sides lay down flat to turn into like a bed. This does have multiple spots, and I do have the holders that mount into those for fishing. This is made for fishing here. Oh, as you can see, like there's even teak wood along the trim. These go all the way back. That goes all the way through to the front. There's a cup holder here for them, cup holder for the driver, cup holder for the passenger. I'm going to come back to the boat. Really comfortable, nice. Again, the custom seats. Now this is where the boat, it really starts showing really how cool it is. Now I did a video on this running and pulling water. So it is a 305. It's a 305 cubic inch engine, not a 350. It's a 260 horsepower OMC. As you can see, it has all the models and numbers on it there, so you'll be able to easily track down parts. Very well cared for. Now, the owner before this put a few features on here that we didn't necessarily have before. They took and made a 2-battery setup, so you actually have a battery under each seat with a selector switch. So when you're out on the lake, you can leave one battery fresh to start if you're running the radio and hanging out and stuff. And then obviously place for your life jackets and that, and the battery's right back there. Pretty easy to get at. They put in an inverter. I hook up an inverter to this, and you can charge the batteries. So you can hook it up to a slow charger overnight, and the batteries will be ready to go in the morning. Love how well this leather was all gray and grimy and dirty, and just with a little bit of polish, it just cleared it right up. And under here we have another battery behind there, but this is actually a cooler that they mounted in here. So I guess you could use it as a live well or for a cooler. The drain is open in the back, so it's going to drain down into the engine there. Another spare slot you can kind of store some stuff in. And one of the coolest features of this, and see if I can do it on the film, is that this piece lifts up, and underneath it is your Bimini top. So it's some additional storage. Now this is great because when you're driving around the lake, you don't have to worry about it flopping around or blocking the walking. It's specifically designed to go in here. Now I'll do some pictures showing how this pops up and clips on. This is also custom to the boat. This is a custom fitted top to the boat. It snaps on across here and kind of runs down the side panel, shading the front seats. And in addition to that, it also has a camper canvas that zips into it. So you can enclose this for actual cold water weather or rainy weather. You can turn this into a real fishing or vessel to kind of use year round if you really want to. What I love is that the front seat up here, the bow, is big enough for a 6-foot person to sit down and stretch their feet out. I'm mentioning that because it can be deceiving in a boat through pictures how much leg room there really is. So there's not a huge amount of leg room, but there is a bit. Now this is one of the only blemishes here. Someone dropped a glue here. Now this leather is all pretty much, as you can see, in immaculate condition. Little nicks here and there, but nothing big. Now what they did here is they actually split the front rail and they put mounts up here for a ladder to come off the bow of the boat, so it's easier to pull up to a shore, drop a ladder off the front as opposed to the back. It does have the front nav lights, obviously. I love the horn on this thing, just classic, just really funny. And it does have a travel cover for it, so you can encase this entire thing to store it or travel with it and protect the leather. Windshield wiper if you need it, but if it's staying in Colorado, it won't. As you can see, there's 2 CBs. One is actually a deep water CB. Meant for really long range communication if you get stuck. It is an old school radio down there with a tape deck. I may or may not replace that. The speakers, there is an old school speaker under each one under there, but they're not really working. I was going to keep the boat. I was going to cut holes in the side because they look like they're wood. I was going to cut holes and put speakers that popped out here and here because the wiring is in there. I can even throw in a set of 6-inch speakers with the boat. Like I said, so there's fishing mounts. Oh, and then you also have a functioning fish finder, depth finder. It actually has a lot of functions on it. Stuff I don't even know because I've only taken this out a few times. I think that covers most of the awesomeness. Now, something that may or may not happen before the boat is sold. The radio I may or may not upgrade. Really shouldn't affect the price either way. It's more of just a comfort thing. And I'm thinking about getting some closely matching leather and installing a pad here with some treated, the proper treated lumber, and creating a pad here to turn the front of this into like a bed, which you see on some of the boats, which I prefer. But depending on how fast the boat moves, I may or may not get around to doing that. Again, I wouldn't charge for that, but even if I don't do it, you could very easily do it and make that front a lot more fun for everybody. So this is a very big boat. It is a 21-footer. So it has plenty of space to walk around. My dad, he has bad knees, so the fact that these seats sit up higher and he can hang on to railings and stuff as he moves around really make a difference on being in this boat. The engine runs, there's fish right here. Everything works, and it's in beautiful shape. This is a classic boat with plenty of horsepower, all the modern features you would want in a modern boat with all the style that they just don't make it in anymore. So I'm really excited when I got my hands on this boat. But we've got a 26-foot cabin cruiser we're putting together that is probably going to be our main boat. And so we wanted to move on from this one and find someone who's going to love it as much or more than we do. So hopefully you found this informative, and get in touch with me if you have any other questions.